Hey guys, so quick ramble before I get into the meat of this video. I have been trying to work on a different solution to share more videos that are off camera and up close, and I'm struggling with it, so please be patient with me. I know we're sitting at my desk this time and you can hear my computer fan again and all that stuff. But hopefully I can find a different solution pretty soon in the future here. Anyway, with that being said, we'll get into the video here. So I have shown you guys this before. I shared quickly a few videos on this, and I have been working rather extensively on it, and I just wanted to show you guys where it's kind of gone and the progress as well. I know this is pretty similar to my Book of Shadows progression, which I am still working on, and when I get further I'll do another update video, but at the time being I have sort of revamped tarot and how I've been documenting it. So initially I was doing the tarot tracker, which I am still doing. I am determined to finish that out throughout the year. I like it, I enjoy it, but I was running into the problem where I was just documenting. I was just writing down a few keywords, and I wasn't really going into how the cards applied to that day. What I've been doing every day is I've been trying to get into a daily practice, and what started where that started is me sitting down at my kitchen table or my dining table with a cup of coffee, some pens, some decks, and some journals each morning, and drawing a few cards and writing them down. And I know I've gone into this before, I've shown you guys this before, but I've gotten into the habit of making journals and bullet journaling, and this has become my tarot journal, which we'll kind of do another walkthrough of, because I quite honestly don't know what I have shared and what has changed. So I'm sorry if some of this is going to be a repeat, but I'm pretty proud of this. I was really intimidated to do this, just as I was to start working on my Book of Shadows. But once I opened the floodgates, I started to have all these ideas of things that I wanted to do. So that's where I started to jump into bullet journaling and art journaling and whatnot, and it sort of just morphed from there. But I wanted a place to put pretty much everything tarot for the most part. So what this first started out as is a place where I would do tarot art journaling basically, but then also have spreads and deck study and stuff like that, which is in here, but it's began to morph to something else. So these are the first 2 pages. I have this really pretty picture of Temperance here, and then this evocation is actually from the Moonchild Tarot by Danielle Noel. I really liked it. I found it very beautiful. I'm not going to read it right now, but if you have the Moonchild Tarot, it's in the first part of the book before the Major Arcana, and I highly recommend reading through the guidebook if you have that deck. It's really great. With that being said, here's another part from the Moonchild Tarot. She kind of goes into how the Major Arcana are, some of the cards are represent the different planes of existence. So the physical, material, the mental, psychological, and the spiritual or astral. I thought that was really fascinating, so I decided to include it in here. This is from Kitchen Table Tarot by Melissa Sanova. I highly recommend that book if you guys have not read it. If you're really getting into tarot and you want something that's down to earth, that's a very good read, that helps you sort of look at the cards in a more everyday, grounded way, Kitchen Table Tarot for sure. But she has a quote for each of the Major Arcana, and it's kind of a, I am going, I'm doing. I really love the one for the High Priestess. It says, I am knowing. So I wrote all those down in here just because I thought that was really awesome, and I really enjoyed that book. I've been doing Ethany's Tarot by the Moon spreads, and I started this journal in June, so this is the new moon in Gemini, and it continues onto this page. Then I decided to start including my card of the year, and that sort of morphed into my year ahead spread, which I put here. So every year I draw those, and so I actually have 2 cards of the year. This one was determined by numerology, which is the Hermit and the birth date. And then this one is the one that I drew, which is the Page of Pentacles. And then I have my cards for each month down here. Then I just made a basic table for the minor arcana that goes through their elemental correspondence, and just some keywords that they each represent to sort of help me identify a little easier. After that, I started to get into the court cards, and I have basically just written down in the guidebook for the Star Tarot for the court cards. Kathy McClellan has all this information of the astrological, the elemental, the seasonal, the moon cycle, and some keywords for all of the court cards. I may make a page where I go into how the court cards represent an individual in your life or an aspect of the self, because I've kind of found that fascinating, but that's for another time. As you can see, I've started this on this page as well. I hope to actually finish this probably tonight or tomorrow, but these pages had been blank actually until last night because I was working on other pages in this journal. Then we go into the full moon spread for last month, which is full moon in Sagittarius. Kind of started to have fun drawing, dressing it up with washi tape and imagery and other various things. This is my summer solstice spread, which I really, really enjoyed how this turned out. These pieces of paper are recycled from my old planner, so I'm having fun kind of taking out the artwork from that and reusing it in different ways. This deck, this is for the Moonchild Tarot. Last month, the Moonchild Tarot was the deck that I worked with rather extensively. I used it the whole month, and I decided to include my interview spread in this journal, as well as I printed off the cards that were rather striking to me, and then I just wrote about the imagery of the cards and the imagery of the deck as a whole and my connection to it, and kind of what I hope to understand with it and all that stuff. I really enjoyed this because it helped me connect with the deck on a deeper level and really understand it in a lot of different ways, in a lot of different layers as well. I took these spreads from that guidebook for the Moonchild Tarot and I included them in here. I didn't want to do them all at once, so I decided to just leave them in here for another time when I decide to complete them. But there are 6 spreads that are provided in the Moonchild Tarot, and these are all 6. With the Triple Goddess one being the last here. And then we go into July, and I decided to put my card of the month. This is where things start to change, and I start to realize that I wanted this to be chronological. In a sense. So now I have started to take more recycled stuff from my old planner and put it in here. And now we go into the new moon spread in July that happened on July 2nd, which is new moon in Cancer. And I am a Cancer moon, so that's always fun when the moon is in Cancer. For this month, I decided to work with the Star Tarot. Another deck I really kind of wanted to dive deep into the imagery and understand a little bit more, and I've enjoyed it greatly. I did an interview spread for this, which is right here. And then on the next page, I also did the first impressions where I talk about the imagery and kind of get into that. I need to find other pens though, because it's not making my penmanship look great, isn't it? So this is also where things started to change, and this changed just over this last week, where I decided to revamp how I did my daily draws. Like I said, I'm still using the tarot tracker, and I'm using it in the same way that I always have been. That hasn't changed, but what has changed now is I'm starting to do daily spreads in this journal, and where I start to go over what's going on in my life and apply it to the cards. And what I'm learning is that it has really helped me understand the cards a little bit more and have a deeper connection with them when I can apply them to what's going on. Now obviously I know some days you get cards that just don't make any sense, but I think that's a great opportunity to dig a little deeper and to understand some of the messages that you might not even see. For instance, daily cards can be rather literal or not literal at all. And I'm starting to learn that, and I'm starting to enjoy the process that I'm learning. This is what I meant when I had the image in my head of deep diving into tarot as the year progressed, and I finally started to hit that on the mark, and I'm really proud of myself for going this far. And also being creative, because being creative for me is something that has been a very innate part of my personality, but a deep struggle, considering I felt for the longest time that no matter what I created, nothing would ever be great. And now I'm starting to realize it doesn't matter if it's great. It just matters that I'm getting something out of it and I'm expressing myself. So with that being said, I will probably share with you guys more of this journal at the end of the month, starting the next month, so you can see more of the progression of this as well. My Book of Shadows will be a little less frequent. It's probably going to be more when I decide to work on it and have made good progress enough to merit a video. But you'll see this journal a little bit more, like I said, in the progression of it, as well as the planner that I have started to do. So from what I could tell from the feedback, you guys seem to enjoy the planner video I did as well, so I will probably start doing that and a monthly update on this each month, so you guys can kind of see the artistic progression and how I'm applying this to my daily practice. Hopefully I can maybe do another video where I sort of get into the progression of my daily practice as well, and sort of the things that have worked for me and haven't, but I'm still ironing that out to a degree. With that being said, I'm going to stop ranting and conclude the video. As always, thank you for watching. I will see you soon in my next video, and blessed be.